Good morning, everybody. How you doing today? My name's Andrew.
I'm Megan.
I'm Daniel.
I'm Joel.
I'm Matt.
I'm Aunt Becky.
And we're some of the Veggie boys.
And girls.
And we'd like to thank you for stopping by. Welcome back, everyone. It's so nice to see you. I just got finished collecting eggs and we got a very large basket full. And a big reason for that, our new layers are really putting in work. I got 92 eggs off them this morning. When it comes to the animals, collecting eggs was the last thing that we needed to do this morning. Joel, Daniel, and myself got all of the animals taken care of. We got the farm market set up earlier, and now Dad has gotten back from the wholesaler. We just got Dad taken care of. He got back from the wholesaler and now everything is put away. Now we're getting ready to head out into the fields. Joel went and got the pump. He filled it up with some fuel and he's putting it onto a new line. Matthew is taking an order to the local supermarket, and we're just getting everything in order and getting ready for when Matt gets back with the truck. We can get loaded up and we can be on our way to the field. How you feeling today?
Better now.
Because it's sweet corn?
No, the ride.
We have now made it out to the field and we're gonna get started pulling. Where are the geese heading, Joel?
Well, technically that's northeast, but the winter's here. Okay, I have a proposition for everybody.
Bins of cherry pepper.
I was so hoping you'd say sweet banana, because that's something that can happen. Do your viewers know about the corn monster?
You know what this is? Right here?
Corn monster eggs? Gotta be careful.
I'll be honest with you, I could pick sweet corn when the corn is this height all day. You don't have to do too much bending over when the corn's taller than you. Now some of you may be wondering, how is this sweet corn so tall and your other sweet corn was so short? Well, this sweet corn got a little bit of rain just at the right time, and it really helped it to develop. And in this particular field that we're in right now, the sweet corn's a little on the young side, so we are gonna be able to come through again and pick the secondary ears and the ears that just weren't ripe enough. Now, when it comes to vegetable farming, efficiency is important, especially on the farm when we have so much to do. We wanna get as many jobs done as possible. So a very important thing is making sure that the tractor is close to us while we're harvesting. Now today we had to sacrifice a little bit of efficiency. We have designated rows that we're driving down, and the big reason for that is, one, all the sweet corn wasn't ready, so we don't want to be running down stalks that the sweet corn hasn't been harvested in, and two, our cattle have been eating a lot of silage, so we don't want to knock down stalks. That way we can make sure we get the best silage harvest possible. Now that we got our bin of sweet corn for the farm market, we are actually working on harvesting some more sweet corn, but this is a little different. Right now we're just harvesting yellow corn. As you guys could see, there was no white kernels in this sweet corn. It is an all yellow variety, and that was very, very popular at one time. Hey Joel, what's your favorite beverage?
Beverage?
Beverage.
My favorite beverage would be root beer.
Root beer? Ah, okay. But what about a root beer float? Isn't that your favorite?
I love root beer floats.
It's not a beverage, that's a dessert.
It's a delicacy.
What about you, Dad? What's your favorite beverage?
Water with ice.
I'm more of an iced tea guy, maybe some iced coffee. Whew, I love iced coffee.
Sweet tea or unsweetened tea. I go back and forth between the two. And whiskey.
Now that we got a couple baskets of yellow corn, we're gonna work on just getting white corn. So I wanted to take the time to show you guys the three ears right next to each other. First off, we have our yellow, and then we have our white, and then we have our yellow and white. Now what's really interesting about these three ears of sweet corn is that at one time they were all the most popular ears of corn that you could get. We have our white corn, that was the most popular at one time. Our yellow corn, which was the most popular, and right now yellow and white is very, very popular. Now all three ears of corn taste really, really good. I like the yellow and white, but then my second favorite would probably be the yellow. But the white sweet corn is good too. But the yellow and white and the yellow are my favorites. Just got all of our sweet corn harvested. We got our yellow corn, our white corn, and our bin of yellow and white. So now we need to get all of this stuff back to the farm market. We got all of our sweet corn moved in here. We got yellow, yellow and white, and white. Now the big job is keeping it all separate. Keeping it separate can be a bigger challenge than you think, because some customers will take a little bit of each, and then they'll move corn and we don't know really what's there. But we try and keep a shopping cart full of yellow, a shopping cart full of white, and then we have our bin full of yellow and white.
Hey, subscribe.
We have come out to the pepper field. We need to get some peppers harvested before lunch. We have a pretty large list of peppers that need to be picked. I don't know if we're gonna get them all harvested, but we're gonna get started with long hots. I picked off like 5 different plants and I got a full basket. Check it out. Oh my, this is what we like to see. This is beautiful. Now when it comes to farming, it's no secret that you need water for your plants to thrive and do well. But did you know that water does more than just help your plants grow? It can actually change the flavor of the crop that you're harvesting. It's an interesting fact that not many people know. For example, with things like watermelons and cantaloupe, they are much sweeter in a dry year because the sugars are concentrated. The more water that your crop gets, the more diluted the sugars are in cantaloupe and watermelon. Now, interestingly enough, that same concept works for other fruits and vegetables. For example, tomatoes get a different flavor in a drier year. They will be sweeter. Now, sweet peppers will also be sweeter in a drier year. But what happens to hot peppers? Now, if we just think about that for a moment, if sweet things get sweeter in a drier year, what do you think happens to hot things? Oh yeah, these peppers, they get spicy. Now from personal experience, I can tell you just while harvesting the peppers, I can feel the heat coming through the plants. Especially when I accidentally break a pepper off in my hand, it can actually start to burn your hand, which normally that doesn't happen, but it's been insanely dry. Now we do irrigate, so that does add to the water that our plants get, but it definitely wasn't as much moisture as they normally would receive. So that means that all of our hot peppers are gonna be very, very spicy this year. And that's something that our customers are looking forward to. Something that I've learned is that there are always people who are looking for hotter peppers. Now these long hots, they don't get too spicy, but in a year like this, they're gonna have some heat. And we're gonna look forward to seeing people eating them. Plants are huge, man. Just finished off my last basket of long hots. If I'm being completely honest with you, that was not difficult at all. There's plenty of peppers here. While we were working on the long hots, they got some poblano peppers harvested, and now they're working on hot cherry, and I'm moving over to harvest jalapenos. Now these peppers I'm harvesting right now are one of our most popular here at the farm market. Now this year they seem to be doing really well, which is surprising. We've had trouble with them in the past, but from what I'm seeing, and if we can keep the plants looking like this, these peppers are gonna stay healthy for a very long time. And when peppers stay healthy for a very long time, that means we get to harvest for a very long time, which is something we all hope for. We just got the call that it is lunchtime, so we're going to load up the peppers that we got harvested and take them back home. Fine. I missed 2?
Yeah.
They're all hidden, bro. Right before we got started harvesting, Dad went and turned on the irrigation for the cole crops. And that last planting of cole crops is looking pretty nice. This is our last planting of tomatoes. It looks super nice. And then this is our next planting of pickling cucumbers. Looks good. Hi.
Who's that?
Alrighty everyone, we made it inside for lunch and it looks like we're having sandwiches. Sounds good to me. Let's ride. We got finished with lunch and now we are on our way back out to the fields. We still need a few more peppers, so we're heading back to finish off harvesting them. Not much has changed. I'm gonna be working on finishing up the jalapeno and Joel is moving on to sweet banana.
Alrighty guys, which one's a sweet banana and which one's a hot wax? They're both sweet banana. One's more mature than the other.
This is what we like to see. Red jalapenos. I just got all of the jalapenos picked. Now Dad is working on hot cherry peppers, so I'm gonna help him finish his baskets off. A lot of nice red ones in here and colored ones.
Yeah, don't take the real small red one, just pick up.
Okay. Nice ones.
That's not that far down, Brian.
We got our hot cherry peppers finished off, jalapenos finished off. Joel got the sweet bananas finished off. Now Joel is working on Italianelle peppers. And how do they look over here? Are you finding any?
Oh yeah. Andrew. 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 And thank you.
Now while Joel finishes off those peppers, Dad and I are gonna get some eggplant harvested. Now when it comes to harvesting eggplant, what we're looking for is eggplant that is not too large. The smaller eggplant seems to be more on the tender side and it doesn't have a strong flavor like the more mature eggplant. Now as you guys have seen, Dad is using clippers, and the reason for that is because the eggplant actually have thorns on them. Yeah, not many people know that. Now it may be difficult to see, but there is a thorn right there. There's a thorn right at the tip of my finger. And the reason why you have to be so careful with these thorns is because they're so thin. And since the thorns are thin, that means they're very sharp. And when they get stuck in your finger, it's hard to get them out and they can leave an infection. So you have to be very careful while harvesting eggplant. And that's one reason why we like to use clippers while we harvest. Eggplant is all finished. Joel and Matthew are working on bell peppers right now, and I'm walking over to Dad. We're getting started on plum tomatoes. All these tomatoes. Come on, I'll go. Now on the farm we have just got started picking canning tomatoes, so that's really exciting. We sell a lot of canning tomatoes in our local area, and what we've noticed is everybody is concerned that they're not going to be able to can in time. So we've had an influx of people coming to the farm market looking for canning tomatoes, which, if we're being completely honest, has been a little bit overwhelming. Usually you have a gradual build up to canning season, but it's just like all these people just showed up out of nowhere. So we're doing our best to get all the orders filled that we can. We have faced quite a few trials this year when it comes to tomatoes. For one thing, there was hail damage. We have this drought that we've been dealing with for quite some time. The drought led to a calcium deficiency, which ultimately led to blossom and rot. But now that we've got a lot of those tomatoes pulled off that had those problems, a lot of fresh new tomatoes are being pushed through. There's new blossoms, there's new tomatoes coming, and that makes us happy. We made it over to our new section of field. The tomatoes do seem to be riper here, which is a big plus, especially when it comes to harvesting canning tomatoes. So now we just have to wait and see what we get. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a blimp. I bet you all those people on that blimp wish they were picking tomatoes. Well, everyone, we've been out here working in the heat for quite some time, so I think we're gonna take a break. Why do you have one for each hand?
It's the same one. I broke it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Dad, why do you have one for each hand?
Well, we got everything harvested that we needed, and we found 3 watermelons, so we're taking those home with us. Well, if you were to ask me, I'd say we had a pretty successful day of picking. So after we got back to the farm market, we got everything unloaded. We made sure the tomatoes went where they needed to go, and we got the peppers into the cooler. Now the next thing on our list is getting our beans harvested. Now our green beans look amazing, but because it's so dry, the plants are starting to die off. So we want to make sure we get these green beans harvested before they start to turn leathery or they start to lose their flavor. We don't have all day. I don't know what you're doing. So we got back with the beans. I immediately got an order together. I have to go pick a few things up, so I have to go for a drive, and they asked if I could bring some beans with me. So I'm gonna bring some beans. I made it back home from picking up the stuff that we needed. They were very happy to get their green beans. Look out here, look at all these empty spaces. People must have been buying tomatoes today. Just when I got back from delivering the beans, we actually had to go pick a sweet corn order. So we just got that sweet corn order, and while I was gone, they got everything put away in here. But now that we got everything all put away, closing up for the night. Alrighty everyone, we have made it up to the house for the night. And as you can see, there's no dinner on the table. And I would say that it's date night, but I don't even get to go on a date tonight. Lauren is spending some time with her friends, so it's just me and Callie. So I'm guessing it is kind of a date night for Callie and I. So yeah, I'm still having date night. But anyway, this is where we're gonna end the video today. I would like to thank everyone for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.